Hi, I'm Emily Rose.
And I'm Dan Philgreen. Welcome to Shell Point Today for Thursday, November 14th.
We're reaching for the sky for today's episode, which includes a conversation with Joe Clank about the latest Shell Point Aviation Club meeting.
What will you be speaking about?
A hijacking that went on at American, and it was rather complex.
We're hitting the beach to see how assisted living tackles a classic New England clam bake. Ingrid Dahl is taking us through another spectacular residence as part of the latest Home Sweet Home.
One of the things that I've noticed in your place is you have a lot of influence from the Middle East.
And finally, we tee off with some proficient golfers as we look back at the 2019 Shell Point Open.
But first, we're chasing our white whale for a look back on this day in history. It was in 1851 that author Herman Melville published what would become his greatest work, Moby Dick. Many of Melville's works would be based on his time as a member of the Merchant Marine and the U.S. Navy in the South Seas. Following 5 novels about sea adventures and finding love in Polynesia, Melville made a drastic turn by writing his tragic epic saga, Moby Dick. The novel, which followed Captain Ahab's quest to catch a giant white whale, was a massive flop, and it forced Melville to suspend his writing and return to his job as a customs inspector. Following his death, scholars rediscovered his work, and by the 1920s, Moby Dick was introduced to schools across the country, becoming one of the most celebrated works of American writing.
Tomorrow, the Village Church is taking things to new heights as they welcome Tino Wallenda for an inspirational demonstration. A member of the famous Wallenda family, Tino first stepped foot onto the high wire at the age of 12. Over the course of his career, he upped the ante by dangerously tiptoeing over lions, man-eating sharks, across waterfalls, and even performed a high-wire act over the Denver DNF Tower, nearly 189 feet over the ground. Tomorrow, Tino's bringing his high-wire act to the Village Church, where he will share his story and faith with the audience before he mounts a high-wire apparatus inside the church. The event is free, however, due to the high volume of attendees, parking will be sparse. If you are planning on attending, you are asked to please use Shell Point bus transportation. Once you've secured your seat inside, sit back and be amazed by this transcendent performance from Tino Wallenda.
That's not the only Shell Point program reaching new heights. Here's Joe Clank with a look at what's taking off with the latest meeting of the Aviation Club.